Hey everyone, thanks for joining us at the Work Talk podcast. This is a podcast where I talk to Bay Area folks around their jobs, their business, and their mindset, their personal projects, and I'm your host, John Salangsang. And today I'm with someone I met online. I started a side video service business where I made videos for small businesses to help them promote themselves. And my next guest I found on Yelp, and I decided to, do a video for this person. And then we just stayed in touch, and he's been a cool guy ever since. And I'm really happy that he could be doing the podcast with me today. He's actually sitting outside in case you're not watching this talk. He's actually sitting outside. So if you hear some wind and trees, just know that that's this California summer weather. But Henry,
sorry about that, guys.
Yeah. I think I like it. It adds a little bit of character to the podcast, to the sound.
Yeah, so let me show everyone what's behind me. So it's my stockpile of all my charcoal that I use. And then I have a big 1959 ranch kettle made by Weber. So that's a pretty cool little conversation piece on my front porch that I keep on for everyone to see.
Yeah, that's awesome. And Henry owns a business called Grillaxin BBQ service, and he provides barbecue services to all his clients. And I'll let you go ahead, Henry. Tell the listeners. I already kind of know what you do, but tell the listeners about your business.
Yeah, so I started Grillaxin BBQ service about 10 years ago. Essentially, the premises were just private barbecue chefs where people can hire us to come to their home, the park, their business to manage the barbecue grill. I don't call myself a caterer because we charge per hour, not per person. Whereas traditional catering people, they charge a set price per person. We charge per hour. Essentially, we charge a rate to be there, to cook everything for you, and then a la carte fees if you need us to shop, prep, marinate, rent our grill, or provide any other services that you might need for your event. But primarily, we only take care of the barbecue for you.
Right.
So,
and whenever I have barbecues with friends, everyone's like, "Who's gonna manage the barbecue grill?" Like, no one wants to do it because everyone wants to talk, everyone wants to play football. So you take care of all that, and you could bring the food too if they request.
Correct. So we can take care of the shopping for you and prep it, marinate it, and make it taste good. And you just have us show up and you enjoy your own event. So I found a little niche between full service catering and just a guy showing up to barbecue. It's a little sweet spot between spending X amount of dollars versus not spending that much money. We typically are about 30 to 40% cheaper than full service catering. And we still provide that on-site catering service, but we don't charge like it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, and also too, I was just seeing if your angle, just because one side of your face is like super lit up.
There you go, right there.
Yeah. So I think that's good.
Perfect.
All right. I'll probably just edit that part out. If there's ever any technical difficulties, just let me know. Yeah.
Okay.
One of my buddies.
I can still hear you.
Yeah, one of my buddies. He told me that my side was choppy, and my face was frozen on the screen.
I see.
But we did the whole podcast, and then when it was done, he told me what it was, and I was like, "We could have paused. We could have figured out what was going on." Yeah. So he said as he was doing the podcast, he was a little distracted, but we're both learning. I told him.
Yeah.
And I'm learning a lot too, how to better do podcasts.
Perfect.
I'll continue on. So how many people is in your business? Because it's not just you doing it.
Correct. So I do have a full-time job. I work for the city of Dublin Monday through Friday, 8 to 5 every day. But Grillaxin is my side business. And I do have about 7 grill masters that work for me. And then I also have a admin person who does all my admin work for me to kind of keep me organized and respond to all the inquiries that come in. I found that being very responsive is the key to success for this type of business. When people are already emailing me, they are looking for someone to respond as soon as possible. And typically what I've found is that the first one to respond to that inquiry usually will get that job.
I see.
So I have a friend named Terry. I went to junior prom with her. She's a stay-at-home mom, and I said, hey, I have. She knew I was doing Grillaxin. I said, hey, I needed a little help taking care of some admin stuff, and I asked her, and she was willing and came on board and started helping me for the last 2 years now.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
and and how- I want to first ask how you got started, your story, and then I wanted to ask
Sure.
about how you manage it all from working
Yeah,
9 to 5 to working this business. And I see on your Instagram, week in, week out, you're doing barbecues, you're doing events, you're doing your business.
Yeah. So how I started the business, it kind of fell in my lap essentially. So all through high school, just hang out with the homies every Friday, Saturday. We would barbecue and drink 40s and hang out on the porch. And it kind of grew, and we learned how to cook really good. And I got a job when I was in high school working for Union City Leisure Services and working in our summer camp program. And every Friday I would kind of get stuck barbecuing for about 100 kids or so, 60 to 80 kids. And I just got good at cooking lots of food efficiently on a grill and developed my techniques and my ways of processing, burgers, dogs, veggie burgers, getting them into the bun, and just making sure all the kids are fed. And kind of that's where the foundation was. And then, I didn't start Grillaxin until I was about 31 years old.
Oh, so you were doing it for fun for a long time.
Yeah,
hanging out
it
with
was
friends,
just very
drinking
informal.
40s.
Just at my friend's house.
I don't think I drank a
hanging out.
40 in like
Yeah,
10 years or
it's been a
something.
while for me too. So, and that's how it started. Just kind of learning to manage a grill, how to efficiently cook it, and just developing customer service skills for my clients as well, to be able to interact with them properly and make sure they have a good experience with Grillaxin BBQ.
That's great. That's great.
But that's how it all started. Just kind of on accident, just doing something I enjoy and putting it out there. So my very first job that I ever got paid for was with a realtor who was hosting an open home and wanted to serve chicken and barbecue to the potential clients that may buy the house. It's a technique they use to draw people to come to the house.
Right.
And
yeah. I go to those open houses for the food sometimes.
Yeah,
too.
exactly.
It does draw me in.
I put an ad on Craigslist. I started with Craigslist. I just put an ad, barbecue guy. I was charging $10 an hour back then, and the lady hired me and made $50 that one time. But it was a learning experience. It was fun. I actually got paid to do something I enjoy, and then it slowly gained traction. More people were hiring me. I do birthday parties, weddings. I've even done divorce parties before.
That's interesting.
Any type of celebrations. It's kind of cool. And I get to go to some amazing homes and some really cool places I never would have gone to had it not been for this business. And it's just a lot of fun to meet new people all over the Bay Area.
Yeah.
So I travel as far as Santa Cruz before, as north as Santa Rosa, and as east is
that's okay.
and as east is Stockton. So I've gone all over the Bay Area.
That's cool. When I go on your Yelp and I saw the 5 stars, 102 reviews, I'm like, okay, that says something about your business. That not only do you know how to do it effectively, and I remember when I watched you do it, when I came by to record you, when I made
video.
Yeah. So like I said, listeners, I made a video for Henry. I'll add it on my social media if you want to see it. And I remember you had this blowtorch.
Yeah, I still use it today.
That's awesome.
Post it out there once in a while.
Yeah. It was, and then you had that blowtorch, and then I was like, okay, this guy knows how to grill barbecue. I thought we knew how to grill barbecue. This guy's good. He's a professional. But then not only that, but like you were saying, the customer service, learning how to work with clients. And I think you do really good at that too.
Yeah, so I learned the customer service side through my day job. Working for the city of Dublin, it's they really put a high emphasis on customer experience and making sure you have a can-do attitude. Just be pleasant, smile when you're talking on the phone, and it
Yeah.
really shows, and you can hear it in someone's voice when you do that. So I try to train my staff at the city to do that, and I try to emulate that and do that for my business as well. I also train my grill masters to be able to provide outstanding customer service,
Yeah,
because
we don't want a
there's
grumpy
other
griller.
exactly, and just gotta fit in so everyone's comfortable and they'll invite you back, hopefully.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, because if you're not giving a good, you could grill great, but then if you're not a nice person, we may not want to repeat the
Exactly,
business. Yeah.
exactly.
So tell me
Yeah,
then.
so it's
Oh, I was gonna ask
Go
you
ahead.
about how you manage the job and the business. Did you have a point that you wanted to finish?
No, actually, I think my ultimate goal. I think anyone can barbecue, but I do have processes in place, marinades that I use that are very good. I mean, people love the taste of our barbecue, and my ultimate goal is to be able to franchise and sell territory of a barbecue service and teach someone else to run a service like mine in a different area, like Sacramento, Los Angeles, or somewhere out of the area. And that's my ultimate goal, to be able to do that. I'm a few years away from that, but I've thought that would be a great way for me to kind of expand the business. But I know that once I retire from my city job, I would be barbecuing full time.
Yeah.
So
Wow. I remember when you told me that, I'm like, that's thinking big, and well, not only thinking big, but yeah, there's a lot of if that happens, it's definitely another chapter in your career, and that'd be awesome though
exactly,
if it gets franchised.
yeah, I'm about 13 years away from retirement, so I'm almost there.
All right, so then how do you manage? Tell me about
hmm
the self discipline and just the mindset you have to be able to work a job and then also do this business
Yeah.
on the side. What kind of keeps you going, and how do you do it?
It's my family that I first of all, I wouldn't be able to
Mm-hmm.
do it without my wife and my mom and everyone that supports me. The peripherals, my wife does a lot. She works full time as much as I want to be home with the kids.
Mm-hmm.
Living in the Bay Area, it's not realistic
Yeah.
unless you're making buku bucks to do anything fun. And
Buku
I feel
bucks,
very
yeah.
fortunate that I do own a home in Dublin. And however, we wouldn't be doing anything fun or going on vacations or doing fun things with the kids if we didn't have this supplemental income.
Yeah.
So I think the discipline is, I grew up working my whole life, essentially. My family had a noodle manufacturing business in San Francisco. We produced chow mein noodles for Chinese restaurants and distributed it all through the Bay Area. So as long as I can remember, I was doing something on the weekends, helping at the noodle factory. When I got my license to drive, I was delivering all over the Bay Area,
Right.
um, driving, literally a ton and a half of noodles in the back of a van, going all over.
Yeah, so you had
So
that immigrant first generation story of
exactly
helping their family with the business. I
that
didn't know that about
that's
you. I didn't know your parents
yeah.
did
So
that, and
I'm a first generation American born
yeah.
Chinese. My dad immigrated to San Francisco in '74. My mom came in '75, and in 1980, my dad bought a noodle company, and started
It's been there
slinging
since.
noodles.
So
Yeah,
after school, you would go there, help out. Um, when you got your license, you started
exactly.
driving.
Hang out on.
Yeah.
Yep. So all through my childhood, we were at the noodle company, just hanging out, playing on the big 100-pound sacks of flour and everything. It was a lot of fun. I
Yeah.
mean, it definitely taught me work ethic because I saw how hard my mom and dad worked.
Mm-hmm.
My mom and dad also really wanted us to focus on our education as well. So
Yeah.
as much as they wanted us to help, they knew that going to school was very important. So I did go to college. I went to San Francisco State. Go Gators!
Yep. Me
Um,
too.
that's right.
Yeah.
I got a degree in recreation and recreation administration, and then also liberal arts. So for my day job, I work for the City of Dublin Parks and Community Services Department. I oversee the city's youth programs, summer camps, and after-school programs. So that's what I do during the day, and that, like I mentioned, that's how I learned how to barbecue, working in recreation and summer camps.
Right.
My
Right.
sister also went to school, and we split time at the noodle company, and then we finally sold the business in the year 2000.
Yeah.
So my mom is semi-retired. She's actually with us, lives with me Monday through Friday, and she helps watch our kids. And that's how
That's
I'm
always
able
helpful.
to work.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That might have to
And
happen
also
to
my
me.
wife is able to work as well.
That might have to
Oh,
happen
wait.
to me one day. That's okay if she
Yeah.
comes in.
Yeah. That was my
Yeah.
kids. Either way, just open the
Yeah, my
door.
wife comes in too. It's totally fine. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that work ethic story. I got to tell my students to watch this video. Some of them are a little too
Yeah.
lazy.
Yeah. And I see that today. Like in my day job, I carry a staff of about 30 to 35 high school kids all the way up to 50-year-olds. But the majority of the kids who work for me are anywhere from 19 to 25,
Right.
college students. And I feel your pain about kids just not knowing what they want to do.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's crazy. Like I set up interviews for my city job to interview kids to be recreation leaders, and I get about a 30 to 40% no-show rate.
I know it's tough. It's just getting young kids, young adults in that mindset of taking responsibility and not being
Yeah,
scared of it.
exactly.
I think what
But
it takes
but
is
I
early experiences is a huge factor. I
yeah,
noticed the ones who are very motivated is because they're instilled that work ethic early on.
correct. Yeah.
And some of them just kind of get it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Some know that they have to do the grind, put in the work,
Hmm.
just want to show up, collect the paycheck, and go home. They don't care. It's unfortunate to say that, but it's just they're doing it because their parents are making them do it, or they need the money. You know what I mean?
Right, right.
So it's interesting to see how kids are different from in years past.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Let me go on to one last question. And I'm trying to keep
sure,
these podcasts short, 15 to 25 minutes. But I'm actually really curious to learn more about your job and what you do there. But maybe that could be
yeah,
another time.
sure,
I am open to having guests come back over and over
yeah,
again.
great,
But right now, let me ask one more question. And
sure,
if somebody has the idea of, hey, I have a service I'd like to give people and I want to start a
uh huh,
business. Kind of like what you did.
yeah,
You had this idea, it's a service, and then you just made a business out of it. If
yeah,
some young adult or even an older adult thinking about starting something right now, if they wanted to
yeah,
do that too, how would you suggest them to start and what tips would you give them?
yeah. I think with starting a new business, what I would suggest someone to do is start off with a small scale. I was
Mm,
doing parties for friends first for free. Do that, learn your process, learn what works, what doesn't work, find the tools that work for you as well. I think that you can also um, ask your friends and family and talk to them, provide that service or product or whatever you're looking for. You just have to kind of do little steps and grow your business little by little. 4 or 5 barbecues in 1 year, first year. So
mm.
kind of got more traction. I doubled. I did 8 to 12, and then the following year, 12 to 24, and then this year, last year, I did over 125 barbecues. So it just takes time to
Yeah,
grow,
yeah.
and
Start
it's
small, start with a certain
start small.
skill and kind of like master that
Yep,
craft and then
exactly. It takes
build from there.
and set goals for yourself. I
Mm.
told myself when I first started, I want to grow myself at least 25% a year. And I've been able to do that year by year. And now I carry about 7 grill masters that pick up jobs and do barbecues for me if I can't do them. I still control all the marinade. They come here to pick up all the meat and go out to barbecue. But I'm able to do that because I think I have a process that works now, and I
Mm.
know what I need to do in order to be successful. And all my business is word of mouth. I don't pay for any advertising whatsoever. So it's developing
Right.
clientele
That
base,
shows
and
something
they're
about what you're doing if it's all just word of
yeah,
mouth. That's really good.
and they just refer, and I treat every job as an audition for the next job, because a party of 40, there's at least one person that will probably hire me from that job. So it just slowly snowballs and it grows and grows. And now we're at events where there's hundreds of people there. I leave cards out, just simple marketing. People ask me, they enjoy the food. Hey, do you come out to San Jose? I'm like, yeah, we travel out there for sure. So it's how I started, and it's just how it slowly have grown over the years.
Okay, very cool.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you telling, all of us what you do, your business, how you started, that mindset from growing up, helping out with the chow mein company, and then to where you are now. Yeah, I really appreciate your time.
No problem. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. And John, you've been doing a good job. I see you grinding away, doing the vlogs, doing the podcast. I think it's a great thing, man. Good job. Keep it up.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, listeners, thanks so much for listening. My next guest, I haven't had confirmed, but of course, I'll let you guys know who that person is on my social media. But for now, thanks again, Henry, for giving me your time. All right, listeners, have a good one. Take care.
See ya.